Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Pursuit of Being a Stand-Up Leader. We're breaking down John's book, Be a Stand-Up Leader, the ABCs of Getting the Job Done Right, chapter by chapter. By the way, I'm Jared Whitman, and I'm here with John Russell.
Woohoo! Whitman Media, baby.
And we got Lucas behind the camera, running the equipment, which is great. Today, we're talking about a really important topic, and I think it was super important back in the late 90s, where if you did not have a website, you were going to be left in the dust. And now, I think it's very rare when people don't have websites.
Yeah, wasn't that long ago. I remember when I first started my business in 2008, I was working with a lot of HVAC contractors.
Yeah.
I would say about 25% of them didn't have a website and didn't care.
Well, really? That's fair.
They're in a small town. Yeah. They have all the business.
Yep.
They're super busy. They got all the business they can handle. Who needs one more thing?
Right.
I've got an ad in the yellow pages, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's the old way of thinking.
I wonder how, of those HVAC companies, how many are still where they were back then? Because as you talking about HVAC companies, they're going to put locations that they serve on the website. When people go to search
engine optimization,
search for HVAC company near me,
landmarking,
are they going to pop up before their local company?
There's a huge implication there, and I would 100% be sure to say that those 25 HVAC dealers have a site today.
Yeah,
mostly because they were forced to do it.
Right.
Either you come up to speed and get with the times,
or you die,
or we're pulling the brand.
Yeah.
Either in or you're out.
Right.
So today, most people have sites.
Yeah.
Now, they vary in quality.
Yes.
Greatly.
Yes.
You and I have gone through a couple of sites, and I'm hypercritical because I was fortunate to learn about website design early on in my entrepreneurial career.
Yeah.
And I was lucky because I had several partners who were developers, who were also designers. And I got a crash course in how to make websites rock.
Yep.
And it was not only exciting, it was life-changing. Because I was able to, at that time, build these websites at an incredibly low price.
Right.
They were like $2,500.
Yeah.
I know websites cost more than that today.
Yeah.
And we were cranking them out, and people were loving them, and their businesses were booming, and all of a sudden, websites are driving the bus. But the reality is not all websites are equal.
I agree with that, and I want to point out, I think back in the early 2000s, before 2010, when cell phones were not as smart as they are now.
No, they weren't smart at all.
So you have the late 90s when internet became more prevalent for normal consumers. And then you have everyone needs to be on the website, right? Or everyone needs to have a website. So it was very desktop computer focused.
100%.
As computers became more available for consumers, everyday consumers.
Right.
Now you have to start morphing from a desktop point of view. You still need to have a desktop. That's still super important. But I think companies and brands need to have the mindset of mobile first.
Yeah. Because
we have these, miniature computers, that we're talking on.
Right.
And I think 92% or 90% of searches are made on a cell phone. So if your phone is not responsive.
Yeah, right.
If your website isn't responsive
meaning
to a phone. So
they adjust.
Correct. So you're going to, in most cases, you build two different sites.
Right.
One for the desktop, so you get all this space, you got all, you can do all these things, and then you have one for the mobile.
And one for tablets too.
They
all carry differently.
Yes. And
your browser looks different.
Correct.
Depending upon if you're on Chrome or Safari or
and
or whatever.
Sometimes things can be disconnected, and it's based on the browser that you're using.
Right.
But I think, like, again, websites are super important. But if you don't have a website, you're missing out. And if you don't have a mobile first website,
right,
you're going to be in the dust, looking backwards.
I agree with you 100%. And your point is designed for mobile.
Yeah.
The other thing that a lot of my clients have used their website for is to showcase Google reviews and testimonials.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a big part of it.
I think even like you can use a website to share video, not necessarily host. I mean, most website builders have a widget where you can add a link.
You can put a player in.
Correct. Yeah. But I think like the more you can connect your current customer base and build that authority marker or that social proof for other prospects. Here's a static written review from Google. Here's a video testimonial that we captured from one of our longstanding clients about our company,
about what happened to them when they use your product,
about plumbing service on the plumbing page, and try to relate it to the page that it's on.
Right. You're telling customer stories using your website as the vehicle.
Yes.
And that's true with video and storytelling. You can run on any channel.
Yep.
But the website's the home base.
Yes.
That's where your links are to your social media pages. That's where your blog usually is hosted. I just noted in the book, websites is the main vehicle for carrying links to your videos.
Yeah.
Social media channels and resources for your prospects and customers.
It's your HQ.
Yeah. What I want stand-up leaders to take away from this conversation is that your website is a dynamic, living tool. It's not static.
Yeah.
I've made the mistake, and probably continue to make the mistake, of not updating my site enough.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in creating cool posts on LinkedIn than I am about supporting my own blog on my website.
Right.
When I should be just publishing across all the channels.
Yep.
You can do that.
Yeah.
And so, your website needs to be the foundational center of your digital communications. That's how you link people to your YouTube channel. That's how you put people on your social media channel. So my advice is have an ongoing website strategy and add and update your content continuously as needed, as much as once a week.
Yeah.
And keep it fresh and keep the information flowing. And don't be afraid to send out a link to an article or a page or a post or a video that's on your website. Send it out to clients, send it out to prospects. It's a great tool to help educate your customers, your employees, right on down the line. So websites are complicated, and I don't want to get into the whole website design and layout thing right now, but there's a real science and art approach to that.
Yeah.
But if you're not happy with your current website, one of the things that we're happy to do is to provide a free review. And there's no cost for that. If you want us to take a look at your website and give you our opinion on what's good and what can be improved, that's an easy exercise. Be happy to do that.
Yeah.
Do you have any other thoughts on websites you want to share with the public?
No, they're just really important tools to have and are a part of your marketing strategy.
That's it. Thanks for being with us today. I'm here with Jared Whitman from Whitman Media, Lucas Aldrich behind the lights and the cameras. Thank you. I'm John Russell, owner of the Business Source. We'll see you next time. Thanks for being with us.